Weed. We all know what it is. You might call it ganja or marijuana, depending on where you live. But it's all the same drug. But is it really a drug? 60 years ago, the United States pressured the United Nations into declaring weed a Schedule 1 drug, alongside other drugs like heroin and LSD, because they were scared that they would also become like the opium addicted Chinese. Incidentally, it was the Westerners themselves who introduced opium to the Chinese. It was like when a drug dealer gives a little bit of meth to a homeless person to get them hooked, so they would spend all their money on meth. Other drugs like LSD and weed were emerging in the United States at this time, and the Americans were scared that their population would get hooked on it and it would slow down their economy, so they banned it, and they forced others to ban it as well. India, on the other hand, always had a pretty good relationship with marijuana. They refused to agree with the United States and kept weed legal until 1985, when it was banned again because the United States pressured them. But now that weed is being legalized and extensively used as medication in the Western world, why hasn't the UN removed marijuana from the Schedule 1? And why isn't India doing anything about it either? For Indians, weed has always been very spiritual and religious, which is why bhang is completely legal. Bhang is a drink made from marijuana leaves, which is served every year during the festival of Holi. And in other religious festivals, you can see Babas smoking hash and weed very openly. The justification for bhang being so legal and consumed so widely is that it only uses the leaves of the sativa plant and not the flowery top. But both of them contain the same chemical called THC, which gets you high. It doesn't really make much sense. India seems to love weed. When you're caught carrying even a small amount, you could get 6 months in jail and a 10,000 rupee fine. That is exactly what the problem is. You see, India is very religious, and although you and I might not get to experience it as much, in most rural parts, people are very devoted to their religion and even take it to extreme measures whenever they feel it necessary. And that is exactly why there's no infrastructure bills preventing cows from walking all over the streets and causing massive traffic jams. And that is also why the consumption of weed is completely fine to Indian law enforcement when it is done in the name of religious practices. These law enforcement officers might even take your weed and smoke it themselves. You never know. But that isn't much of a problem for the Indian people. Since Mumbai and Delhi are among the highest weed consuming cities in the world, in 2018 alone, the people from these cities consumed a total of 70.6 metric tons of weed. Now imagine if the government put taxes on all these weed sales. But that's something I'll talk about later. As people make more babies, we run out of more resources, and we need to share these resources and utilize them to their fullest potential. Weed is not a drug, it is a plant. It is from the planet, of the planet, and in an essence, the planet itself.